Okay, so this is going to be a really quick guide on how to do an oil change on a KTM Duke 390. So this is going to be the cover on the bottom. It's going to be basically on the bike over this engine. It's the engine cover. And basically you take out these two bolts, and then there's 4 bolts on the bottom. They're all size 10 millimeter. So you take those off, and then the oil drain plug is right there. So you just take that off. I used a size, let's see. I used a size 11/16, so I don't know, I probably got something a little bit wrong, but this was a really good fit, or you can just use an adjustable wrench. So then you drain all the oil out, and then you go ahead and you fill the oil over here, right in there. Now this is the kind of oil you should probably use. It's 15W50, and I've been using this and it always just works like a charm. Now before you put that in though, I got it wrong, you actually need to undo this oil filter. And so once you take these off, I used a size 8, but there's a little wiggle room, so you might want to use a metric measurement, but that worked just fine, didn't strip it or anything. And you take this off, and then this is the oil filter, so you want to get it out. You can just use something, pause it. Alright, so I basically wiggled it out with this flathead screwdriver, and then here's the old oil filter right here. So all you want to do is just get rid of this. You can bring it to AutoZone, get yourself a new oil filter, and then put it in. Alright, so it took me a while to find the little hole, but you basically find a hole. Now I always rub all the old oil all over the new oil filter because I don't know, that's just what I've always done. That's what I've been taught to do, and you can either do that if you want or you cannot, but I forget the reason why, but I always do that. Somebody that is very trustworthy, a wise old man, once told me to do that, so I just rub it all on there. I got a K&N oil filter off Amazon. I think it was only like 15 bucks. I bought it a few months ago, and it's the same filter I used last time, and they always just do the charm. So I'm gonna screw this back in, and then I'll get back to you. Alright, so you want to get that puppy bad boy down. Now you can look up the torque specs, but I don't really care about that because I've been doing this for 4 different oil changes, and it always just works like a charm. And from there, you're gonna take off the oil fill cap, and that'll allow all the rest of the oil to drain out. Actually, I probably should have done that before I took this off, but it really won't matter that much because it seems like it's all been leaking out. This has been all off for quite a while now. Alright, so now you're going to pull this little thing out. If you can't reach it, you're going to use a pair of needle-nose pliers. It's over by the oil drain plug, and you see there's just all this crap, all this gunk on it. You're going to want to just clean that off lightly with a paper towel. Try your best not to get any paper towel on here. And so I'm going to do that, and then I'll get back to you. Alright, so I was able to get quite a bit of the gunk off. As you can see, it's not perfect, but that's okay. I'm going to see if I can buy another one of these next time. I assume you should probably replace these every few oil changes now. On all the other previous guides I've seen and instruction manuals, I haven't seen anything about this. Maybe I just wasn't looking well enough, but it's good to know that I found this. So I'm going to put that bad boy back in there, nice and tight. Alright, so now with your, if you have it 11/16, or you can use a standard, and that'll work. But I'm going to screw this back in. Go. Alright, so I always just crank this pretty tight as I can get it. I don't want to over tighten it obviously and strip any of the threading, but that's all good. So now we're going to go ahead and fill it up with some oil. Alright, so this bike takes 1.6 liters of this oil. So over here I have my liter measurements, and most oil cans will. If not, you're going to have to find another way to measure out 1.6 liters. But you can see that there's about 1.5 right there. So I'm just going to give a little bit more. General range, and once the oil is in the bike, I figure out exactly how much it needs using this measurement tool right here. So first of all, we're just going to fill up about 1.6, and then we're going to figure it out from there. Alright, so this is how I usually dump it in, and I just keep dumping it in a little bit at a time and checking those measurement tabs just to see how close I am. Alright, so there we go. So I put about 1.5 in. The reason I put a little bit less, and we'll see if I'm right or wrong, is because there's always a little bit of extra oil in there from the old oil that just didn't come out. And so what you want to do now is I usually pop this cap back on, and then everything should be all put together. Then I start the bike for about 45 seconds to a minute, get it kind of heated up a little bit. I usually wait till there's a temperature on the temperature gauge, and that'll mean that the bike's kind of heated up and the oil's been circulating through. And then you check to make sure the oil is right here, down here, in between these two lines, which actually it already is, which is usually pretty rare, but typically it'll go up even a little bit more. So we're just gonna do that and see. There might actually be too much oil in. If there was a lot of oil left over in the engine, maybe I should have let it drain out for longer. But there you go. You can see that it's already in the right range. It just needs to be in between the bottom of this and then the top of that little tab right there. So we are in range. We'll see after a minute of running the bike what it's at.
No, it's in my pocket.
Oh, you're gonna press it.
It's on.
You didn't stop recording, did you?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, I believe that means stop. Alright, so in this case, this has been a little abnormal, but I guess it makes sense. It actually went down a little bit after being started. You can see it's mixed up with some of that older oil, which is kind of lame. But actually it's going back up now. So it's weird. It went way down while it was running. Now that it's off, it's going back up. So I think I'm just gonna add a little bit more in there just to be safe. But when the bike was on, it was like way down to here. So I'm gonna add a little bit more, and then we should be able to call it a day. So that's basically how you do it. Just always make sure that when you are finished putting the oil in, you just always make sure that's in between these two lines. That's the main thing. You should probably wait quite a while longer to just make sure everything's drained out than I did. As you can see, it's still a little bit dirty. Not nearly as black as it was before. It was completely pitch black almost. So this will obviously be a lot better. But just a good old lesson for next time. So thank you so much for watching. My name is the Taco Papa 6522, and we will see you in 1995. Bye, guys.